Good evening, race fans, and welcome to another edition of Monday Night Mayhem, live here on the MRL Broadcasting Network. I am Mean Gene Money. I've got my tag team partner, Zach Panzarella, right here. And we are coming to you live from Bristol Motor Speedway. That's right. The Mayhem has come to Tennessee for this half-mile concrete battleground where we shall see which driver shall rise to the top and which drivers will fall to the side. Competition rises as we continue towards the playoffs. Zach, how are you feeling tonight, my man?
Super excited to be here, Mean Gene. This track is awesome. The last great Coliseum. Any NASCAR driver's favorite track. It's always on the top of the list, and it's always a great time. It's intense. There's not a ton of room to negotiate around this place, Mean Gene. So it creates some hurt feelings, some rivalries, and some really, really close racing. I'm excited to be here, and if last year was any indication of how good of a show MRL is capable of putting on at this place, then we're in for a treat.
I'll tell you what, we're about to see 200 laps of gladiators doing battle, 28-degree banking here. Cannot wait to see. Last year, we had 19 drivers come to the battle. 10 of them finished on the lead lap, and we saw Michael Mata punch his way to the playoffs in our win and you're in situation. David Owens, he came up a little bit short. The guy led the most laps, fastest car, took the pole, took the stage, but a late race caution. And all of a sudden, Mata, who had not pitted, took advantage, jumped to the front, and we saw him punch his way in. How about tonight, Zach? Do you see any drivers that might come in and steal one?
I don't know about stealing one, Mean Gene. The guy I have my eye on is, I guess I'm going to keep it kind of boring here. It's David Owens. He is always so good here. He led the most laps here last year, and like you said, he got the pole. He was a force to be reckoned with, and it got taken away from him at the end. And right here, so far in practice, he's putting down our fastest times. But if there is anyone who's going to steal it, and I guess it won't even feel like a steal, if we're looking at our standings right here, it's our new full-timer, Colin Bollinger. I have my eye on that car, Mean Gene.
Yeah, Colin currently second in practice. David Owens is the top car in practice. And also, both those guys have punched their ticket to the playoffs. Bollinger with that win at Charlotte, Owens with that win at Auto Club. So both those guys are looking to just improve, get a little icing on that cake of their regular season, which already has them up at the top. Also, cannot forget about Kevin Kyle. Kevin is actually one of the slowest car in practice. So that 2X racing team that Kyle is a part of, though, they got here early. They were here right when practice started. I peeked in their channel, and they were talking about tires, fuel, and strategy. So I think Kevin Kyle, even though he's down a little bit slow on those practice laps, I think him and that 2X Racing are going to have something for those powerhouse teams as this race moves forward.
Yeah, I think so too, Mean Gene. I think we've been calling 2X Racing a powerhouse team before we know it. They're showing so much speed already. They already have a win, and they've just been an impressive team all the way around. I wouldn't be too concerned about a slow, or I wouldn't call it slow, but the slowest practice lap so far. This race is going to be a lot about the long run, and that could be what we're seeing Kyle focus on. And I'm not worried about that 27 cars speed around here, Mean Gene, not one bit.
Well, 23 guys are practicing right now, so there ought to be a little bit of room to spread apart. But cautions, as always, will become an issue here as we are racing. A little bit of housekeeping. Got a new guy on the track tonight, Zach. You can see he's running that 3-digit number, and that's going to be the 905 Ford of Nick Mazza. Nick Mazza currently with the 4th fastest lap in practice. So we'll see what this rookie has to say as he is getting into a field of veterans. One veteran, Jax Duvall, showed me how to put it on the inside wall right there. And Mazza, I found this out. He is not just a Florida native. He also is another Duvall. So we're going to have to watch out for that guy with a little bit of excitement if he can live up to the reputation. All right, looks like practice is over. We're about to hit qualifying. And you know what that means? It's time for a little bit of our patented Zach on track so you at home can see exactly what it's going to take to make this way around the last great Coliseum.
Yes, we're going to do a Zach on track. And man, me and Gene, before we even do that, to have another Duvall out here, that's a scary moment. So that's why I waited to have the track to myself. As I'm going to show you guys a few lines around here today. As here we go around Bristol, the last great Coliseum. And I'm going to do my best not to bring this thing around me and Gene. Let me adjust my mic just a little bit.
Downshift and gun it. See what happens.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fun, all right? That'll be a good show for everyone at home. So I ran some laps earlier today, me and Gene, and the first thing that stuck out to me is I thought this would be a fourth gear track, and I'll show you what happens when you try to run fourth gear. Listen to my engine here. It's just completely on the top there. There's not much there, and there's just too much tire spin. So this is fifth. I got to be in fifth here. So I want to put some heat in the tires first, me and Gene. I'm not trying to embarrass myself. And first, I'm going to show you guys probably what I think the qualifying lap and the fastest lap around here is, and that's kind of a middle entry. You don't hit the wall like I just did. But then you bring it back down and kind of center the wheel. Let me try that again. Enter it middle, off the gas there. I'll brake if I have to, and then diamond it back down, straight line. Because that banking is tricky, means it'll get you very loose. And this track is way hotter and tighter than it was in practice, I can tell you that much. And now next time around, I'm going to show you guys the bottom line around here, which I think is going to be the tire saving line, where people should be on the long runs. And it's pretty fast, too, if you can do it right. And it's all about patience on the throttle here. Me and Gene stay low and up the track at the end. I'm going to try it again. I got to get out the gas earlier, be more patient. There it is. And then it's coming down the corner. That's what you want. It's loose off. You're going to have to get used to that. It's not going to get any better. But man, me and Gene, this track, if there's one thing I'm noticing right now, it's hot and it's loose. Very, very loose. Anything you want me to try before I probably wreck this thing?
I wouldn't even dare to propose something out there. This track looks like you got your hands full. Let's see here. 14.7 was your time. And as far as qualifying goes, hey, you're ahead of one guy.
Wow. Okay.
So that's good.
Okay, I got to do better. I'm going to try here, me and Gene. I'm going to really try. Oh, it's so loose.
Oh, you're trying. Look at the fans.
So loose. And now the tires are hot, and I'm going to get off the track before it gets worse. Man, I don't know how they're going to do it, me and Gene. I'm glad those guys clearly put in the practice that I didn't, because that was not easy. Oh, boy, and my arm kind of hurts.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hunter Hall, he had him a heck of a qualifying run, full second off of what he did in practice. You know, he must have had the tires get loose and give him an interesting run. So that number 12 driver, Hunter Hall, he's going to have his hands full trying to make his way through the pack. Looks like there's only about a minute and a half of qualifying left, and half the field yet to go out there and give it a go. I don't know if they think the track's going to cool off or if they would just like to start in the back and watch the middle people destroy themselves. Right now, though, Austin Marrow, he's going to be shown up at the front. Marrow had a pretty good run last year. He did lead some laps, but late caution shenanigans ended up costing him a podium finish.
Me and Gene, it's definitely the latter about what you were talking about. I think a lot of people thinking about how long this race is and in no rush to get to the front, knowing how messy things might get to start the race and trying to control their race in that way. I am not surprised to see a sizable amount of this field. Like, I will say more than I thought, me and Gene, but nonetheless, quite a bit. No interest in being what you do there, me and Gene, is you don't get to get an EOL voluntarily, right? If you qualify 12th, you're stuck there.
Oh, you're running.
Exactly. So sometimes it's better just to control your destiny that way and kind of be in the tail end, right? If that's what you want.
I know I've done that myself a few times. Just skip that qualifying and go in. And it's not a super speedway where you immediately regret that decision. Super speedways, I've started in the back, and then all of a sudden there's just a roadblock in front of me, and I'm doing 200 miles an hour. This time, though, we're seeing an opportunity for them to slow down and maybe use some of that below the apron space so they don't get involved in that shenanigans. If not starting, not qualifying, it's a choice that they're gonna make. So qualifying is about to wrap up, and it looks like David Owens is going to be laying down that banger. Second place just misses it. And that means Austin Merrow is going to be your pole sitter. David Owens going to start second. Joe Volpis third. Colin Bollinger fourth. Steve Lewis fifth. And Jose Medina in that beautiful 54 Marlboro scheme. He's going to start sixth on that third row.
The rookie, Nick Mazza, picking up where he left off in practice with a 7th place qualifying effort. Daniel Smith in 8th place. Tony Iverson 9th. Matt Novella rounding out the top 10. 11th goes to Eric Thornton and Jack Sanders in 12th.
All right, Florida man Jax Duvall going to start 13th. Hunter Hall 14th. Andrew Bolander 15th. Going to see if he can make up some space. Bolander is the first car choosing not to qualify. 16 is going to be Fritz, and all of these guys not choosing to qualify. Jonathan K. Sabir, Jay Stinson, Kevin Kyle, Sean Walton, Richard Swingle, Mason Smalley, and I'm showing Brandon Guerin out there. Guerin had to go to the airport. Kind of surprised he made it back if we see him start.
Could be that. Could be a quick little start in park. You do get points just for showing up. Me and Gene versus, not being here at all. So could be that. But if we do have Guerin out here physically, I'd be very excited about that.
I wonder if he had a good buddy log in for him and just put it in there.
I mean, I may or may not have had a couple friends do that for me in the past. That's not important, right?
Well, as long as there's no
as long as it's a good friend who knows what he's doing.
As long as there's no Doge here in MRL, you'll be okay.
Oh no, I'm worried about what references I'm gonna hear out of you today, Manji. And I watched back our BRL broadcast, and God, those Taylor Swift references stuck out like sore thumbs.
Whoops, didn't mean to do it. Hey, speaking of paint jobs, I already mentioned the 54 of Jose Medina. Beautiful Marlboro scheme out there. Check out the 53 of Colin Bollinger tonight. Colin is starting up in 4th place. That really nice. I'm going to call it the Jabroni Toyota, even though it says Diet Dr. Pepper and Batman. I see the words Jabroni on that back windshield, so I'm going to call him the Jabroni Toyota tonight.
Love it, me and Gene excited to hear that. And it looks like we're going green this time. Only one lap around. It looks like lights are already off the pace car, waiting for it to pull off. I believe we're running full pits today, so we'll have to pay attention to that. This track can get confusing with the pit lane, as I'm sure a lot of you out there have experienced. But yeah, look at that 53. That thing looks awesome. I love that. 54 looks good. A lot of good-looking race cars here at the last great Coliseum.
Yep, Matt Novella giving it a wiggle next to Tony Iverson back there, expecting some exciting action. Right now, though, Owens and Austin Merrow side by side. These guys raced each other all last year, and then came up short. No Michael Mata tonight, so be interesting to see if we'll have a new champion today. The pit pace car is off.
Green.
Owens goes green, and we are live here. Owens on the outside with the early jump, staying ahead of Austin Merrow. Merrow trying to make that bottom work, but the momentum of the top is going to propel Owens around to a 3-car lead. Single file now. You can see Merrow, Bollinger, Medina, and Joe Volpis, and there it is. Owens going to lead that first lap and get him some points early.
Just like last year, picking up where he left off 1 season ago, David Owens. This is his wheelhouse. He loves this place. And there's one thing I remember about this place last year, also me and Gene, is it's so hard to keep up with everything happening around this track. There's so much action, so many passing opportunities, and the laps tick off so quickly. But here we go, keeping it clean so far.
All right, everybody single file. Looks like Steve Lewis side by side with that rookie Nick Mazza. That's where it's going to get interesting. Immediately, Lewis had some fast laps in practice, but so did Mazza. These two guys are going to have to figure it out quicker. They're going to see the cars in front of them go away and the cars behind him get quick. Looks like Lewis finally going to get an advantage as he's trying to chase down Joe Volpis. Volpis 5th, Lewis 6th, Mazza 7th here live.
And we have our drone cam, our brand new drone cam following around the 88 of Steve Lewis. And look at that thing just on a rail, and so many lines already being used here. Me and Jimmy got cars on the top and the bottom. I'm going to be curious to see which line is more advantageous in terms of tire wear. But right now, I think a lot of people are just trying to feel out this place. I remember last year, me and Gene, I think we got about a 100 lap green flag run to start this race here, which is so rare at Bristol, but it just goes to show how good this field is.
Yeah, these guys got 200 laps to dial in, so they better be patient. Really excited. We're on lap 7 right now, and no early shenanigans, letting these guys kind of run the track. Tony Iverson, Daniel Smith with a little bit of excitement, as Iverson did touch the apron, closing that gap up. You can see Iverson in the 13 right behind Daniel Smith, and then the 1 of Thornton. Iverson and Thornton are teammates on that high side hustler team. Daniel Smith still a privateer, but that 31 Pennzoil, he's been running strong. He's got something to prove here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel Smith has been so strong all season, but just does not have the finishes to prove it, and nor does he have the points position currently outside of the playoffs if they were to start tomorrow. So Daniel Smith just really trying to start to get together those good finishes that are more indicative of how good he's been. But right now, running strong, trying to probably follow Tony Iverson through this field.
All right, so it looks like we had a case of 3 start and parks with Mason Smalley, Jonathan Sabir, and Jay Stinson. Those 3 guys not running any laps. Brandon Guerin also looks like he started it physically, but then didn't run laps. So Kevin, is that right?
Looks like it's Smalley, Sabir, and Stinson.
Oh no, Guerin is on the track.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Or someone in Guerin's account is on it. I'm kidding.
Let me look on the inside. There's that mustache. No.
Oh yeah, that's Brandon Guerin. There's that face. And look at this bunch here, me and Gene. This is where I think something may happen. We have Medina leading this group with the Vulpes right behind him. This is another track that Vulpes. Oh, and Lewis gets loose. Big wreck. Lewis and the 905 get together. Lewis loose outside on the exit of the corner. And an innocent bystander is our rookie. That's going to give him a sour taste of this league.
Hey, welcome to the Mayhem right there. We talked about it early. Both of those guys were really fast. Oh, and Louis is just going to smash into Mero.
What are you doing, man? Stop. There you go. You got to wait, me and Gene. You got to wait. These guys
I don't have to wait.
No.
Look at Tony Iverson come to a full stop just to point at Louis.
Yeah, I think that's what that was. Louis now patiently waiting. Oh, boy. The 905 again. I think I saw a certain type of bird outside of that 905's window. Big moment there, me and Gene. Let's try to find that.
Ouch.
Indeed.
All right, Mazza's bringing it in, so he is trying to get some repair.
Oop, way too late in that one. This is the end of it, right?
Yeah, that's going to be our first caution here on lap 15. Unfortunateness.
Unfortunateness. I want to know if that's a word, man, Jane.
It is now. They call me Shakespeare. Just inventing words as we go.
They do call you Shakespeare. They don't call you that for nothing. We're going to go old school this one. Just do the old rewind.
Wow, yeah, and there's the smackaroony.
Yep, we're going to Benjamin Button this one, right?
Here we go.
And let's go. Let's slow it down.
All right, so you can see you got Jose Medina, Joe Vulpes. There is Steve Lewis, and then the 905 of Mazza. Everything looks fine. This is race speed replay.
It's going to be at
sunlight coming underneath.
And this is going to be at the exit of turn 2 here, me and Gene. So watch this 88, whether it be getting loose or just drifting up, is going to touch that wall. Or he didn't even touch the wall. He just gets loose on exit. And oh, that poor 905 of Mazza. Welcome to the MRL, my friend.
Let's check it. Look. Oh, and Iverson.
Oh, and Iverson. That is why Iverson did that. It wasn't just about that. Oh, Iverson collected a good amount of damage there, me and Gene. Not great. And there is Louis.
Now, I'm hearing on the radio, Mero has some damage, and apparently Hunter Hall also, the 12, he's asking for an EOL because he picked up some damage somewhere along the way. I think it was a little bit of contact going in the pits for some of these cars.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think a lot of people, we talked about this too, and we'll try to get to the bottom of that. Yeah,
Green, green,
seeing that as
green.
we are green.
All right,
Gene.
we are going green. Colin Bollinger, he's going to lead them in that jabroni Toyota. He's got Daniel Smith behind him, Jack Sanders, Matt Novella, Richard Swingle. That's your top 5. They go single file around into turn 3. Bollinger's going to lead his first lap here at Bristol, get him some points, but he's got that 31 Pennzoil in close pursuit. The 25 of Jack Sanders, Matt Novella, and Richard Swingle. He's out there running that DC Shoes car. So good to see him up in the front as well.
Yes, Mean Gene. The field very mixed up. A lot of our leaders there actually chose the pit. David Owens, our leader, before that caution, brought it down pit lane. I'm looking at the pit time right now. I believe it was probably just fuel, maybe trying to make it a little bit longer, or maybe trying to make it to the stage on fuel. Ooh. And that was the difference. Ooh, and we have action later in the field, but yeah, our field very jumped up. Owens, speaking of the
84 of Duvall,
and that creates
going to cause Marrow to check up behind him.
Oh no, I saw a car airborne there, Mean Gene. That one was massive. And let's take a look at that one. Was that teammate on teammate violence?
No, because if you remember, he left. You got to remember, David Owens left Gulf Coast Racing, so him and Duvall not teammates. Duvall, part of East Coast Alliance.
Oh, no, Iverson wasn't in that one, was he? That's what I meant about that. But here is... I don't think Iverson was in this one, was he? No, he's
Tony
not.
Iverson, he was actually forced to tow in based on what just happened.
Okay, well, here we go, Mean Gene.
So you could see him in the pit.
I think we got to go back a little bit further.
Look at Marrow getting caught up. Oh, my.
And let's go back a little bit further. Where did this start? Yep, just as I thought. Detective Zach on it. Okay, so...
All right, that looks like Kevin, Kyle, and Bolander.
Keep your eye on Kevin, Kyle, exactly. Keep your eye on Kyle here. Oh, that's a bad camera. That's where it's going to start. There's the checkup. So now Owens and Duvall have to respond to it. They both do a good job here, Mean Gene.
Yeah, Kyle comes up. Everything looks fine.
Owens is going to try to make most of it.
Oh,
and Owens is loose. Oh, he's very much loose. Up the track into Duvall. I mean, Owens is out of control at that point. Still out of control. I think Duvall's like, get off of me.
Look at Vulpes. He's holding his breath. I can hear puckering coming from the seat of that 07.
That's why the extend was a bad idea.
And then Marrow slows down, and he gets it. Cue ball action. Thornton hits him. Medina's caught up.
Oh, boy.
Looks like the 905 got low and avoided that.
Oh, that was a big one right there.
And that is the 57 car.
Oh, boy.
Brandon Guerin getting involved, and Brandon Guerin has parked it, thrown his helmet down. He's got his gloves off, and he is waiting by the trailer for somebody.
And you know what that is, Mean Gene? It's obvious. The first one.
T-bone of the race. Right in there. Somebody took a bite out of crime.
Yes,
Call him Fred McGriff.
And we really shouldn't call it the moment of the race because there's going to be more than one. Let's be honest. But lights off the pace car, Mean Gene. I shouldn't even start the music.
All right, so Colin Bollinger, he is still up at the front. And looks like we have already cut it down to 16 guys on the lead lap.
Wow.
A lot of foolishness in the back as these guys are still trying to get it lined up. Colin Bollinger, he's in that 03 Jabroni Toyota, the 31 Pennzoil next to him. We're about to go green. They bring it into the Geico restart zone, and away we go. Colin Bollinger, he gets a decent jump, but Daniel Smith stays with him. Smith trying to make that outside work, using that momentum. Bollinger's going to bring it up and maintain that lead. Single file racing. Jack Sanders behind him. Matt Novella, Sean Walton, Andrew Bolander still got that car rolling. Matt Fritz makes his way up into the top 9. Joe Volpes, Jose Medina. That's your top 10.
Yeah, that was a really strong start from Daniel Smith, but Bollinger able to hold him off. Want to shout the 25 of Sanders, a champion in this league, having a very strong run here at Bristol. But, man, I'd be afraid of that 53 of Bollinger right now. I like this top 2. And also, don't look now, like you said, Sean Walton in the top 5. He also won the cars who has stayed out. Not had to really mix it up in the middle of the field like we saw. That did not work out for Owens. And Walton, track position, virtue of staying out and now protecting it.
Sean Walton not making friends right there. Puts a heavy block on Matthew Fritz. They make contact. Fritz lets off, almost loses position, makes the track behind him. Kind of woe up, but Bolander and Swingle, nice guys. They let this race continue. But if Fritz gets close to Walton again, I don't expect him to show quite the same patience.
Also, keep your eye on the 07 of Joe Volpus. He is our first car who has pit. I don't think he put tires on it, Mean Gene, but it's going to be interesting to see how much urgency he has to get through this field. I think the move there was for the stage points, so you gotta kind of be aggressive here. So I'm watching Joe Volpus, and pretty much everyone behind him has already brought down the pits. And look at that, right
Joe
behind
Volpus.
them, Mazza and Medina, very, very close.
Yeah, Volpus has got to show a little bit of patience. So remember, there is no caution for the stage break. We do award points to the top 5 drivers, but we do not stop the race. So you fall behind here, and there might not be any help making their way back. Great pace being put down by Swingle, Bolander, and Joe Volpus right there, right now. Great action right there, as we can see Mazza getting underneath, about to do a little side-by-side racing with that 57. Good action here at Bristol. We're live, lap 35 of 200.
Two other guys I have my eye on, Mean Gene, are Eric Thornton and the rookie Mazza. They both had 20-plus second pit stops. I know a lot of that was probably to fix to fix damage, because that both of them were involved in incidents. But what it also could have been, Mean Gene, sometimes when you have to slide in an incident or slide in the wall, whatever it does, it might flat spot your tires, and that might be enough to want to put on 4 fresh ones. So I have my eye on that 905 and that one. I want to see if they have more pace than the cars in front of them.
So a couple of sadness things right now. Looks like Tony Iverson is going to be a lap down
Thornton.
based on what has happened previously. So he's going to have a little bit of work to do to get caught back up. Austin Marrow, he's got the screw job on 2 of the wrecks so far, still managing to be on the lead lap. Right now he's squeezed between a high side hustler sandwich as Tony Iverson trying to get by Marrow, and you can see Iverson right ahead of him. So he's going to have a little bit of work to do if he wants to keep up and stay on that lead lap.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go with some side-by-side action between Bolander and Fritz. And there's Swingle right in front of them. All these guys have stayed out, and they've gotten track position because of it, and they're doing a great job protecting it. And this is going to be a fun thing to watch here, Mean Gene, with the line selection. I think what you're going to see here with the top is they're going to have a good amount of speed down the front and backstretch. The 97 of Swingle kind of stalling the 48 of Fritz. I think there's more speed in that 48 than we're seeing right now.
Yeah, he's definitely having to hold back. Remember, he had a little bit of fun with that 23 of Sean Walton. Walton ended up getting through the pack, moving forward. But right now, Matt Fritz stuck behind that slower car, that 97. Joe Volpus underneath. We could go 3 wide all of a sudden. Swingle burps it, lets them go through safety. And now it's David Owens and the rookie Mazda trying to make his way through Swingle. Swingle might have needed tires on that last stop, by the way things are going right now.
Yeah, and let's watch this diamond line the 48 of Fritz is running, Mean Gene. So look at this. Entering already pretty high, driving it all the way up to the wall, and then a straight line down the track. And watch the exit speed that gives him. Look at this run he has on Bolander. This is a really good line to run at Bristol, especially at this point in the run. 44 laps on these tires, and look at this exit speed that 48 is getting.
Yeah, Matthew Fritz right now really making good work of Bristol. He's about to take over from Fritz from the 8. Get by him. Next on his radar is going to be the 5th place car of Matt Novella in that 56. And he's not afraid, that 48, he's not afraid to use the top and the bottom.
No, he is not, but right now he is just absolutely dominating the top of this racetrack. And here we are on board with Fritz. And the reason why I did this is I want you guys to see from his POV how close that car is to the wall. Look at that. There's about a piece of paper's room, and oh boy, coming up on cars in a hurry. That is Jack Sanders to his inside, Matt Novella in front of him as he's looking to make some moves here to enter the top 5, and that top line is dialed in on these long runs, Mean Gene.
Yeah, he was 0.25 seconds faster than everybody else that last lap that you just had that camera on him. Almost 0.3 of a second faster when it's only taken 15 seconds to get around this track. That's booking.
He must have known he was on TV.
That was it. They said, now, Matty, now. Make it happen. But he makes his way through there, pushing his way up into 4th. And now looks like he wants to get down with Sean Walton. And you can see how quickly he's closing that gap. Matt Fritz, definitely the guy on the move. Fast movers today, though. High riser Sean Walton up 16 places. into third, and Matt Fritz up 12 into fourth. So a couple of guys choosing not to qualify are about to show it down for that
Yellow
third
is
place
out,
position.
Gene. Yellow is out.
Oh, trouble.
Let's see if I can find it. Oh, it's around the 07 of Vulpes, it appears. Oh, no. Swingle, it was that group we were looking at before, it looks like. Let's see if we can find it. We're going to play this real speed here. It's Thornton there on the top. And that's Medina and Jax Duvall, who does not have a fast repair. Oh, and he just turns Thornton. Oh, no.
Wow. Let's go to the in-car cam of Steve Lewis there, please. I want to see what it looked like from Louis' perspective.
You want to give him some?
I want to see them RPMs.
You want to give him some credit for some wreck avoidance? So where was it? Yeah. I mean, was this? I don't want to take too much credit away from our boy Louis, but was this that hard to predict?
I just love to see cars that almost have contact. Let's look at those RPMs. 72, 73.
Well done. Well done.
There we go. Good job.
The right move there, too, Mean Gene, was to get off the gas, and what that did is it allowed him to not get loose, making, an evasive move like that. So, really nice move there.
And in these cars, that's scary, though, because that ass will come right around.
Exactly, and that's why you have to be very, very careful. It's easier said than done to make a sharp left in a race car like this. So, I believe that was it. I'm just looking at what else we had happen here. This is Matt Novella, but I don't think this will be much of anything, Mean Gene. Software still being... Oh, and there's Thornton... Okay, Thornton, careful there, buddy. And yeah, that was it. That was all it was, me and Jane.
All right, so let's see who takes this opportunity to move their way in and take tires and who continues to press their luck.
Yeah, absolutely. And lights already off the pace car. So it's Daniel Smith still staying out. I'm looking at my software here, me and Gene. There is one car on this racetrack, two who have not pit, and it's our leader, and it's fourth place, Richard Swingle.
Ooh, well, I'll tell you what, David Owens, he is lined up on the outside of that front row, and since he's already taken tires, he is looking to lay down some laps.
And his fast repair. Don't forget that.
Oh, and his fast repair. Well, get in the front, and you don't have to worry about a fast repair, right?
Exactly. Well, we'll see. And look at Hunter Hall, fifth place. Great job by him. And then Bollinger in sixth now.
Green flag.
All right, here we go. They're going green. Great start by Daniel Smith in that Pennzoil 31. It's going to go single file after him as Owens is in second. The rookie Mazza third, Swingle fourth. The 53 of Bollinger, and then Matt Novella, Hunter Hall, Sean Walton, Andrew Bolander, Jack Sanders. That's your top 10.
Yes, there they go, Mean Gene. Interesting restart there, and pretty quickly they're able to create some separation in the front of the field, but look at the middle here.
Ooh,
all bunched up. Yeah, Hunter Hall a little bit loose. I think he stayed out there on old tires, still dealing with that. And yeah, you can definitely see how much of a struggle that is, especially when they're cold, Mean Gene. That is not a fun time.
Another car, Kevin Kyle. He touched that apron, made it exciting for Thornton and Iverson behind him, but Kyle back on the straight and narrow. Well, they're really packed up right there around Jose Medina. You can see Vulpes and Austin Merrow. Merrow, though, this guy, I mean, if he was a cat, he's already used 2 lives. He needs to be careful in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, and those other 7 can go before you know it. Oh, man, Richard Swingle is making me nervous as well, me and Gene. Those tires, you can tell, are ancient. He's having a hard time keeping it straight. I am worried about him, and you can tell there's not a ton of patience for these cars around him. Oh, boy, be careful, Richard. And around goes the 13 of Iverson. Iverson around, me and Gene.
He's going the wrong way. Was he driving backwards? He's doing the 3-point turn in the middle of Bristol.
Typically doesn't work out. Not the most efficient way to get around here. And I think I saw the future there a little bit there, didn't I, me and Gene?
Yeah. I mean, you could smell it. Those guys are getting frustrated. They're used to being up in the front, and all of a sudden they're in the middle of the pack. We talked about lap times in practice. All these guys, though, were turning burners. All of it was within 0.2 of a second, and I'm talking 22 guys.
Yeah, I mean, you're so right. Even with different tire situations, the deltas are still so small. Here is a replay of the accident here. We have our camera on Tony Iverson, but I hate to, I'm not picking on him, but yeah, it's Richard Swingle, I think, struggling with those old tires. There he is up top. not a ton of room there. Thornton on the bottom, 3-wide situation. Iverson comes up, actually. Mansion, you cannot put that one on Swingle. Iverson comes up when there just simply isn't room into his teammate of the one of Thornton. Collects Swingle as well. Down goes Swingle, able to avoid that pit exit there, and a nice save by him. Definitely the worst of that was...
How about Steve Lewis again, just almost getting destroyed by the shenanigans of others? And Lewis really needed to avoid that because Steve Lewis is going to be your lucky dog here on this third caution.
Yeah, Steve Lewis, an absolute wreck magnet today. A lot of them not his doing. Mean Gene, while we have time, let's talk about how different this is than last year already. What's the biggest thing that I already brought up that we remember about last year's Bristol race?
Well, I mean, 5 cautions, so we're going to be pushing that number real fast. Other thing that stands out to me is no Michael Mata. So who knows? Maybe this year Nick Mazza can be our new Michael Mata, the rookie running 4th right now. He was fast in practice. But I'll tell you, guys I'm waiting to see breakthrough. I've seen him do better every week. Struggling early on, Jose Medina in that 54. Struggling a little bit, but, I mean, that guy just keeps on getting better every week.
He does. I have my eyes on him. And yeah, Michael Mazza, didn't realize it's just a 1-letter difference, for being honest. So love that. Maybe it is Michael Mata undercover. We never know, me and Jim.
Yeah, it could be. But and I don't want to shortchange others. You know, Matt Novella ran 3rd last week after that amazing battle that he had to get 3rd place versus Hillman. So he's got a lot of momentum on his side, and I think Sean Walton is knocking on that door.
Green flag.
Here we go. We are going green again. Daniel Smith remains your leader. David Owens trying to chase him down. We're going to try this restart thing again. Colin Bollinger, Nick Mazza, Sean Walton, Mazza and Walton side by side. Mazza wants to keep that momentum, but Walton does not want to give it up. He knows if he goes backwards,
here goes
he
Owens
can
for
get
the
ate
lead.
up by that pack.
Owens to the inside of Daniel Smith for the lead. Owens wants it back. He wants control of this race. He wants to make it as easy as possible. Daniel Smith has done a great job today. He's done a great job all season. He's using that top line to carry the momentum. I don't think either of these guys, I know Smith hasn't. I don't think Owens has taken tires yet either, Mean Gene. So I think they're in a very even situation here. So that's a great call by the 31 to use the top line to defend. And look at Owens responding, trying to go even higher.
Yeah, these two bad guys continuing battling back deeper in the pack as well. We can see lots of action as these guys are trying to line themselves up for a nice long green run. Owens going to take that high side. I think he's going to have the momentum to get him down that back stretch, and he does. David Owens going to cross the line first here. Your new leader is the 11. He's trying to bring Colin Bollinger with him. Daniel Smith might get ate up by him. He does. And now Sean Walton is looking under the 31. So Smith might have needed to think about tires, or he's thinking about the next 25 laps to get to the halfway point.
Or really interestingly, the top lane not working for Smith in terms of defense, because yeah, he opened the door and everyone just went on through, didn't they, Mean Gene? Because there goes Walton. He just went from 1st to 4th in a matter of 2 laps at Bristol, which is 30 seconds, believe it or not, is how quickly that happened.
Hey, look up front now. Colin Bollinger, he's like, hey, David, I let you lead a lap, but guess what, bro?
My time.
I'm in the jabroni Toyota, not you. I need to take over that lead. So we got Toyota Ford side by side, and Bollinger actually going to get credit for leading that last one. Finally slides on up into the front, and that 03 of Bollinger takes over. Owens behind him, but here comes Sean Walton. Now Walton trying to throw his hat into the ring because he'd love to get him some bonus points also. Daniel Smith has moved back, but there's a nice gap between him and the rookie Mazza. Mazza, though, holding off an incredible charge by the 8 of Andrew Bolander and Matt Novella. There's a pack of wolves chasing that rookie.
Yeah, there absolutely is, Mean Gene. You really just cannot take a break for a second here if you're one of these guys, especially in the top 10. One false move can cost you multiple positions. And here we go. Sean Walton looking to the inside of David Owens. No love lost between these two in the past of this season. So this will be very interesting on a track like this. David Owens, Mean Gene, he's getting looser and looser on the exit of these corners. He's not having the best time. So it's going to be interesting to watch him race Walton here and how hard he wants to push it. And also look at that 53 just driving away in the sunset.
Yeah, I think Owens is just going to let Walton go by. It's a little too soon to use your last act and make that constitution check. Instead, he's going to live to fight another day. Caution is the better part of valor. Up front, though, Sean Bollinger, he is pulling away. He's got 0.3 seconds, 0.4 now. Walton would love to chase him down, but we've seen Bollinger flexing his muscle since he's become a full-time driver here on Mayhem, coming over last season's Wednesday night Xfinity champion, now full-time driver, and he's already punched his ticket in. Remember, he had that big win early on in the season when he won at Charlotte, and now looking for a little bit of ice cream. He wants sprinkles. He wants the cherry on top, and Bristol would be a great place to do it. Sean Walton, though, that's one of the drivers that needs to punch his way in. He's got points, but man, it feels good to get that golden ticket
Eric
and
Thornton.
not worry.
Look at Eric Thornton split the middle there, Mean Gene. Oh, that was insane. I was wrong earlier. There are cars who have taken tires. Bollinger is one of them. Walton is one of them. I'm looking at their pit times. They have absolutely taken tires. And you know who did not, Mean Gene? I can tell you this with confidence. That 31 of Daniel Smith. He is falling through this field at a rapid pace. Look at Medina here, looking to take advantage of him on the inside. And look at this wild pack of hyenas behind him.
Well, yeah, Eric Thornton is currently a lap down, so he'd like to get it back the old-fashioned way. Thornton, he is the first car, a lead lap down. After that, you're dealing with Tony Iverson laps down,
right behind him.
He's multiple laps down. So Thornton just needs to make it to the next caution to be the lucky dog and not be part of that wreck. But he is racing as hard as he can right now, side by side with Jack Sanders. Smith on the outside slowing down. Tony Iverson right there, he'd like to get a move on as well.
Yeah, and I can tell you, Thornton making no friends, doing a 3-wide move, a lap down. No lead lap car is going to appreciate that. So Thornton making his decisions now with still over 100 laps to go in this race. But I also got to understand that you have Tony Iverson behind him, even though he is more laps down than you. You don't want him in front of you in a better position than you. So I get that. And also, Mean Gene, look who is breathing down the neck of our leader.
Wow. I'll tell you what, these guys racing really hard. They are teammates. Remember, there's no I in teammate, but there is 6 eyes in screw it. I don't care how big the room is. I cast fireball.
Did you actually count the amount of eyes in that?
Oh, Mean Gene never reveals.
Wow. I mean, I'm going to have to...
Somebody will just have to write it down and check it out for themselves.
Yep, you're going to...
All right, up front, though, Colin Bollinger, he has moved this lead up to 0.7 of a second as he is just trying to put down some hot laps. Last lap, 15:05, 10th of a second faster than Walton. Joe Volpus, he's trying to catch up and creep up. And how about Austin Merrow, two-time screw job, but he's managed to make his way back up into 4th. David Owens falling into 5th. Behind him, Medina now leads the Hungry Animals. Those Hungry Animals being
out, Mean Gene.
The high side hustlers that are a lap down, but one of them, not anymore. Eric Thornton going to be your lucky dog as we have our 4th caution on lap 88.
Uh-oh. I don't like what I'm seeing, Mean Gene.
Who did it?
Let's find out.
No, there's Louie again. Let's see what happens.
I spoiled the surprise. Let's see here. Oh, I see a loose Kevin Kyle on the inside there, Mean Gene. Let's see if he can save it. Is it saved?
Right,
it's not saved, I don't think.
Uh-oh.
Let's see.
That's Kyle on the inside.
Is it underneath the 27 yet? It's not. It's not, Mean Gene. I could be wrong here.
Oh, that car in front of him's doing a little Tokyo drift.
Let's see.
Oh, there it is. Swingle and Kyle.
It was a jump scare. It was a jump scare. I just, like, a second too early. All right, let's slow down here. Did he just come up the track? Is he loose? What's the situation here, Mr. KK?
Apron looks clear.
Swingle a little bit down. Okay, let's not make assumptions.
Yep.
Let's not make assumptions.
I came up and you came down. I zigged when I should have zagged.
Let's look at this.
Oh, it's another T-bone.
Oh, it is. But first things first, Detective Zach on the scene. Who?
I love this angle.
Oh, this is the end all be all. It's Swingle. Why are you coming down, buddy? I got to put that one on the 97, Mean Gene.
I mean, it's one of those incidents. Could Kevin have come down, made it a little sharper? Yeah. Could Richard have gone a little bit higher? Yeah. And they just get together.
Exactly.
And look at that. Steve Lewis again avoiding destruction.
You weren't wrong about something.
What?
It was our second.
T-bone of the race.
Ooh, they're gonna be in abundance today. I hope you guys like steak.
I'll tell you what, a lot of full bellies. Do they have a lot of steak, a lot of cows here in Tennessee?
I think so. Never been to Tennessee, but I would assume, right?
Hmm.
Look at this mixed up field here, me and Gene. Look who our new leader, Joe Volpus, taking the outside here in this restart. Matt Novella.
Hey, Joe needs to lead a lap. Joe needs some bonus points.
He does, but so does
And
Matt
here
Novella.
comes some right here. Bing.
Matt Novella, I think he's a shark guy. He drives a shark car on 2 different series in MRL now. I may or may not have designed his Thursday one, but nonetheless, he's a shark guy.
All right, so up front there, Matt Novella, Jax Duvall, Steve Lewis also being shown in that front 4.
Man,
Sean Walton, Colin Bollinger.
why is Jax booping Novella so much?
How about those tires?
Yeah.
We're going to find out. Joe Volpus, he is going to be your control car into the Geico restart zone. Great jump. Joe leads him behind. That's going to let Novella fade up into that second position. Steve Lewis on the outside third. Sean Walton, Jax Duvall, 4 and 5. Lewis gets a hell of a run, has to let off to not make contact with the 56. Joe is going to continue to lead. There's Joe Volpus leading around as he gets him them points for leading that lap.
All types of different tire situations throughout the field, Mean Gene, and it's going to create absolute chaos. You can already see it here, and the patience for this point in the race is already at an all-time low. But what we also have here, and I understand why there's a lack of patience, Mean Gene, we got 5 to go in our stage.
Yeah, look at Louis wiggling a little bit. He's got dirty air from Walton. He's got Duvall trying to side draft. About to go 3 wide there with Bollinger at the bottom. Bollinger finally makes it through side by side with Lewis. Jax Duvall fades up, but that's going to let the 8 and the 48 close that gap. Up front, finally, Colin Bollinger is going to assume the 4th position. And now Steve Lewis fighting for his life. He'd love to hold on to 5th. 3 laps to go until we award some halfway points.
A lot of patience being shown by the 84 Duvall here. Man, he could have made that situation a hell of a lot more complicated, Mean Gene. And here we go for the stage win with only 2 to go. Matt Novella breathing down the neck of Joe Volpus. I'm sorry, 3 to go until we get to the end of our stage. Will he be able to get that stage win? But let's not forget, the top 5 now this year collecting stage points.
Remember, these guys used to be teammates well back when Gulf Coast existed, but now East Coast Alliance Joe Volpus, DDI driver Matt Novella, momentum there by Volpus around the outside, coming up, and caution. Oh, and that's going to play into Volpus's hands as we will cross the halfway under caution, and that'll let Joe Volpus take over.
Novella was right there, Mean Gene, but like you said, it played right into Volpus's hands. And Volpus able to take home the stage win. Good on Volpus. That strategy working out for him. And let's take a look at what went wrong here.
Who did it? Here comes the finger of judgment.
Keep your eye on that 11 of David Owens, Mean Gene. At least that's what my software is telling me. Let's see.
All right. Medina's in front. Side by side, Daniel Smith and Owens right behind them.
And yeah, Medina in front of them. Duvall, I think, may have been on a older tire situation, Mean Gene. He was falling through the field more than I expected him to, so keep my eye
There's
on
Matt Fritz up at the front.
Tony Iverson as well.
You can see Fritz and Swingle way up ahead.
Oh no! Look at Owens. He oversends it. He's too high. He hits the brakes, and that thing is loose.
Oh
and
no! And that's what we were talking about. That ass end.
Wow! And that should be it for David Owens today.
Sanders, heavy contact.
I talked about this a couple of races ago, me and Gene. It's so easy to put a lot of pressure on yourself when you're at a track where you really feel like you have a chance to win it, and it's your wheelhouse, right? And man, David Owens, that is a brutal one.
Ouch.
And it looks like he's parked it. Has he, me and Gene? Can you confirm that for me?
Not yet.
Oh, there he is.
I haven't seen anybody ghost.
Owens brings it into the pits, and let's see if... that car just healed itself. He did not use his fast repair on that first incident, me and Gene. I was wrong. David Owens, if he's a cat, he's used all 8 of his lives, and he's on the last one.
All right, so officially, I'm looking at it now. Joe Volpus is going to get the 5 points for leading halfway. Matt Novella, he comes through second. You got Sean Walton. He's going to come through in third. Andrew Bolander going to come through in fourth. And holy smokes, Nick Mazza, welcome to the league.
Well,
he's going to finish fifth in that first stage. Good for you.
Yeah, especially if you start the season on race 5. That is one way to make up for lost time. Well done, Mr. Mazza.
Yeah, remember, we had guys come in late to the league. Specifically, we had Michael Mata come in late and then hit a win here at Bristol last year. So, Mazza, Mata, those letters are close. We'll see what happens. But the way that these guys are driving, Colin's been up front all day as well. We're about to go green, and away we go. Matt Novella is going to lead him around. Good jump by him. That's going to get Walton and Bolander side by side right behind him.
Oh, no!
Colin Bollinger, Jose Medina, and around goes Novella.
The 8 of Bolander just, oh no, that wasn't good. You can analyze this one, me and Jane, because I'm going to have some bias with Matt Novella being a daily driver's in car and doing a great job. Here we go. Let's take a look at this one. Actually, I don't know if it was Bolander. It may have been someone else.
So here we go. We can see the 8 of Bolander, the 23 of Walton side by side. Matt Novella, he is in the lead. This is right off the restart. Getting excited.
I think
cars behind them, side by side.
I can't believe Novella's gonna lose
not
this.
At max speed right here, because you're going to see just how quickly these other cars are going to close that gap. Look at Walton on the inside, how quickly he closes the gap. Not what you're accustomed to seeing from a bottom lane car. Suddenly, Walton makes contact. That is Walton, yeah?
It wasn't Bolander. I apologize.
Walton makes contact, spins the 56 up, Walton sideways. Oh, and there's another T-bone moment.
Look at
him piling up,
there, me and Gene,
up on that wall. Kevin Kyle, one of the victims.
So I don't know what happened. I'm assuming Novella gets loose here.
Let's take a look.
He lost a lot of speed mid-corner, like you said. I don't know what went wrong here for Novella. But is he coming down? He's not. I don't know what that 23 thought was going to happen.
Walton just plowed right up the track. And then he double tapped him.
I mean, I'm not going to blame
him for that. That was a pit maneuver.
That's just
state troopers. He's going to put that on his resume to become a state trooper. And then he collects Colin Bollinger, gets smashed into by Hillman, and then Kevin Kyle comes in to get a piece of the action.
And it's the third one.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Hillman right there.
Sean Walton.
Making friends, taking names and making friends.
Yep. Anything do you have the radio up or anything you heard?
No, I ain't heard nothing. Nobody's talking. Everybody's quiet.
That breaks my heart for Novella. He was talking to me this week about how he was so frustrated that his finishes weren't where he felt like they should have been, and right there he was. And I don't know. That's a shame for Matt Novella.
All right, so in the back now, after doing a little repair, Colin Bollinger, Sean Walton. Looks like Bollinger is going to be the last car in the lead lap, running 17th. That puts him 13 spots down of his starting position of 4th. You know, the 03 Jabroni Toyota driver cannot be happy.
Yeah, he was involved in that as well. Here we go.
Here we go, green again. Andrew Bolander. He is going to get that lead jump over Daniel Smith, who's back up into the front. Jose Medina now running third. That's as far up as he's been. David Owens back into the mix. Look at the speed of Matthew Fritz on the outside, running 5th side by side with that rookie Nick Mazza. Eric Thornton coming
loose
in
goes
6th.
Mazza.
Oh, he's loose, and he's
gonna
touch the wall.
Caution's out. We saw that one, me and Gene. Nick Mazza, so easy to do at this racetrack. I can't believe that's the first time it's happened.
Nah, he was in a group, and he probably wasn't ready for that one. He's got that thing rolling pretty quick, hopefully, Nick. He was a victim of himself. He didn't collect anybody in that wreck. Hopefully, he'll be able to get it back in there and start competing again.
Yes, sir, Mean Gene, and I'll be right back. I'm going to take advantage of that caution. We saw what happened, so I'll be right back.
All right, 7 wrecks, so 7 cautions so far. Nick Mazza, the rookie, bad luck right there. Looks like Hunter Hall is going to speed around and be our lucky dog. Tony Iverson also being shown a lap down, so Tony would love to see some more cautions to get himself back into it. Oh, I was wrong. It was Tony who is gonna be the lucky dog. Hunter Hall was just coming out of the pit, so Tony Iverson's gonna bring it around, and that should get him back on the lead lap. Meanwhile, some drivers coming into the pit, so you can see Bolander, I can see Novella, and I can see Mazza bringing it back in to get just a little bit of repair. Meanwhile, on the track, it looks like Bolander is going to keep it out, and he's still being shown as your leader. Lap 112 of a 200 race lap here at Bristol. And wanted to give a shout out to our sponsors. This race is being brought to you by Chantilly Lace. That's right, Chantilly Lace. They handle all of your photography needs. If you need wedding photos, if you need a bar mitzvah, if you need any pictures taken, that's right, Chantilly Lace can exceed your expectations and memorialize that moment forever.
Yes, Chantilly Lace, an incredible sponsor of the MRL, someone we are very, very grateful for. Check out their website, and yes, if you live at, the Oklahoma area, is that we decided?
East Coast.
East Coast there. I'm sorry, I know nothing. But if you live in their area and you're getting married anytime soon, which so many of us are if our wives haven't already, or our fiancés haven't already left us for our sim racing obsession, then absolutely they should be taking pictures at your wedding. They do the best work out there.
So, leaders choosing to stay out. Mazza had that incident, does stay on the lead lap. Iverson's still going to be laps down, but he was the recipient of that lucky dog. Andrew Bolander side by side with Daniel Smith. Smith been running up there all day long. Well, he could be a contender here at the end. David Owens, always a threat. Jose Medina, Eric Thornton, and Matthew Fritz, who had that car working on that outside lane. Here coming into the Geico restart zone, Andrew Bolander on the outside, gets an amazing jump, brings David Owens with him. Owens fast enough that he's going to take over second place from Daniel Smith.
It's unbelievable how fast Owens is working through the field, Mean Gene. How is he already up to second place after being in an incident 2 cautions ago?
That outside lane really working because you can see the speed of Thornton and Jax Duvall as well. Andrew Bolander, he's down low. He doesn't get the memo about how fast that outside lane was because here comes Owens with a head of steam. He's bringing his high side hustling teammate, Eric Thornton. Daniel Smith is loose,
Smith
trying to keep it steady. He does. Good driving by the 31 Pennzoil driver.
The 31 losing control of this race for one of the first times we've seen tonight. He's done such a good job of keeping that car up front, not having to deal with the mayhem behind him. But that accident or that incident right there cost him about 6-7 positions, and David Owens will not be denied. Back to the lead goes the 11 car.
Yeah, David Owens, he's making use of that high line early right now while you got the fresh tires. Thornton and Duvall, bumper to bumper. Duvall lets Thornton live. That was almost like a mercy, and Thornton's going to maintain that third position, but Duvall let him know, I'm right here. Look at how fast Duvall closes up on him when they're going through the middle of the turn. Thornton making contact with the wall. He's either got to let that 84 go, or he's going to have to find out what lane he's running, and there's a caution.
And Thornton, I think I owe that guy an apology. You heard me criticize him earlier for taking them 3 wide a lap down, but that's why you do it, Mean Gene. Back on the lead lap, and in third place, Eric Thornton is. Hats off to him, and let's take a look at why we got yet another yellow flag, and uh-oh, I'm not loving what I'm seeing on screen.
All right, let's take a look at the replay. We were just talking about these guys. Did that foolishness happen right behind them?
May have, maybe a little bit further back in the field. Let's take a look at this real time, Mean Gene. Keep your eye on the 56 of Novella. And Sanders loose in front of Novella, and Novella.
Ouch.
Gets collected. I think that same thing happened at 56 here last year, Mean Gene. That looked familiar.
Dag nabbit.
So easy to do that when you see something happen in front of you, whether it be a big jerk of the wheel or a handful of brake can create that situation. as we see Bolander, our second place car, and Daniel Smith finally bringing it down the pits.
And it looks like Tony Iverson is going to be the lucky dog again, zipping around. Could this be the one, Zach? Is this the lucky dog that gets Iverson back on the lead lap? Well, stay tuned.
I believe it is, Mangy. I believe it's the luckiest dog of all the dogs, the dog he's been waiting for.
Well, maybe he's a gambling man. He is from Nevada, so it's legal there.
It is, and it's all too tempting in Nevada, is it not? It's everywhere. I'll be there in a couple
You know
weeks.
what they say. You know what they say. What happens? Are you getting married out there?
No. Oh, gosh, no. I'm actually doing my bachelor party out there, but I'm doing, like, the least Vegas bachelor party you'll ever do. We're going down NASCAR weekend, so we're doing the Cup race on Sunday. And then on Saturday, we're doing the supercar experience, the Speed Vegas thing. So we're driving some Ferraris around a racetrack. It'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, my word.
Our goal is to not hit the strip. I'm lame, guys. Sorry, I'm 33. I'm not fun anymore.
Oh, you know what they say. Do the strip the last day.
Yeah, honestly, because how many times have you done it the first day and just ruined your whole trip, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And besides, if you do it the last day, sometimes the police will let you out to get on your plane.
Yeah, sometimes. Not always, as I've learned.
No, it's true. All right, so David Owens, he's going to choose that high side as we are lining up to get this party going again. And it looks like poor Tony Iverson, that was not the one. He's still a lap down.
Oh, okay. Well, do you think we'll get another caution, Mean Gene?
Maybe next time. Well, we've reached 8. That was caution 8 on 121.
So all he has to make sure is he's not part of it, Mean Gene, because if you get as much as a scratch during that caution, you don't get that lucky dog.
All right. So pace car has its lights off. David Owens is on the outside. He is your control car coming into the Geico restart. Look how far back Thornton is on the restart.
Man.
And that's going to let Owens get an easy jump. Thornton side by side, Jose Medina on that high side. That high side so fast on that restart last time. We'll have to see if it continues that dominance. Thornton on the inside, Vulpes on the outside with the 84 of Duval. Duval got loose, kept it straight last time. Let's see what kind of control he has right now. Vulpes, Duval. How about Sean Walton now? Up into the mix. Colin Bollinger. Oh, Walton almost makes contact with Duval. Has to hit the brakes. Pulls a crossover maneuver. Hugging that bottom. But right now it's David Owens with that jump leading Medina as he brings them around for lap 127.
Didn't know Walton knew that pedal existed as we look at the 07 running the diamond line that we talked about earlier in the race. Doing a great job, kind of drifting up to the wall, Mean Gene, but then driving it straight down the corner. So he has that backstretch and front stretch straightaway speed. I'm looking at that 07 of Vulpes, and I like what he's doing. But, man, it's going to be hard to beat the 11 of Owens. But, man, is it not the week of Jose Medina? We saw this guy with a career performance in BRL last night, driving it all the way back, or all the way up from 24th to 4th. And today, look at Jose Medina, second place with only 70 laps to go in this race.
Well, car with a lot of speed right now, though. Colin Bollinger, he's cutting through traffic. After that restart, he's using the top line, he's using the low line, but he's got 4 angry, fast cars ahead of him that he's going to have to figure it out. Owens maintaining that same distance over that pack of wolves. Right now, Thornton going high, trying to get around Medina, doesn't find the speed. Medina cuts back in front of him, so there is a lot of use of that low line that's just not allowing the outside line to get that momentum down the stretch, and that is causing them to lock up and close in. Bollinger now looking down low, and that's going to take him side by side with Vulpes. Walton also going to make use of that low line. 5 cars all thrown under a blanket.
Yeah, Bollinger doing a great job on that inside line. I think the person doing the best job of actual just line choice right now is the 54 of Jose Medina. He's running the bottom when he can, when he doesn't feel any pressure behind him, and then when he feels that pressure, Mean Gene, he goes straight to the top to defend, and that's how you save your tires while maintaining speed and track position. And if you need proof of that, look no further than that second place that he has right now. But yeah, I'd be very, very wary of that 53 of Bollinger.
There's a lot of checking up. I can see the 28 of Mero. He just got loose there, and that's going to get him side by side with Lewis. But he went right into the back of Sean Walton. It was a light touch, but it was enough to throw off his speed and let Lewis get by him. So we're looking at Walton to Medina. That is a 6-car group. Mero with the break, and that's going to let the 56 of Novella and the 48 of Matthew Fritz close up on him. This race is out of control. The checking up affecting all of the drivers. You're right. Medina using that low line and then coming up high to slow the momentum of the guys on the outside, but it's causing ramifications to the drivers behind him.
Thornton struggling with his entry speed, Mean Gene. Look at that one car and how much he's just getting eaten up on entry by the cars behind him. It was really concerning with that 53. Good job by Jax to find the clean air so he doesn't drive to the back of the one of Thornton. But Thornton, I think it might be a tire situation. I don't know what it is. Not with a ton of confidence right now in corner entry. That was creating issues with the 53. I'm glad he was able to make it past them clean. There it is right there with the 84 closing the gap on entry, Mean Gene. But look at this 53 of Bollinger now looking to the inside of Jose Medina for second place, and we've been waiting all day. We want to see that Owens versus Bollinger showdown.
I think you were right. Thornton was driving behind Medina for a few laps. Now, though, Medina's having to deal with Charlotte race winner Colin Bollinger. He's still doing a heck of a job using the bottom when he can, using that top. Thornton, he's trying to hold off some wolves, though, as he's got Sean Walton, Joe Volpus right on his tail. He's got to figure something out. Jax Duvall there as well. Duvall, he didn't dump Buddy Sully for the win. Would he dump Eric Thornton, though, to open up this dam?
Yeah, who knows? I like what Volpus is doing. He's saying, even though the top line seems to be the better line right now, I'm going to go to the bottom because I think Thornton is a little bit of a roadblock here. Me and Gene, there we go. As Duvall just forced it there. Where did Thornton go? Caution's out. And
caution.
Where did Thornton go, me and Gene?
Yeah, Thornton touched that wall. And Marrow, we saw Marrow get loose earlier. He made contact with the tail end of Sean Walton.
I feel like we're fortune tellers today because we've seen all these coming, haven't we? Or is it just that obvious?
I figure if I say every name constantly, eventually, you know, it's like a...
Yeah, you gotta be right at least once, right?
It's like carpet bombing.
What is carpet bombing? Educate me on what that is. All right.
So let's take a look at this replay. Ninth caution here on lap 143.
A little bit of net code there to be fair with Jax Duvall. Also to be fair, not the best camera angle. Let's go a little.
All right. So there's Thornton in the wall. Let's go after Duvall.
Let's go a little bit.
There's Steve Lewis hoping he ain't going to be a victim.
Where there is a wreck, there is Steve Lewis somewhere behind it. Is there not?
Tell you what, Lewis been ducking bullets. He's like Neo in the Matrix today.
So Thornton opens up the window, and that's all Duvall needed to see. But Thornton's still coming down a little.
Yeah, that looked like net code right there because he was under him side by side, and then all of a sudden that front end came down.
Definitely net code there. And then,
oh no, and Louis getting touched by Marrow. Marrow shoots down. Oh no, Matt Fritz, no!
Oh, Fritz. And Daniel Smith, he's been so good today. Smith, that will likely be his fast repair there. I mean, I don't want to put any of that on Marrow. He was checking up. That's why he got turned.
Yeah, absolutely. You check up, you get tapped from behind, and these next-gen cars, anybody who's driven them knows, those things will swing around before you know it.
That's why sometimes you've heard me be an advocate of penalties, Mean Gene, especially for that. You heard me rant about it yesterday, so I'm not going to do it again today, but check up when there's a wreck in front of you, boys.
And you got to chickadee check yourself before you rickety wreck yourself.
Before you wreck yourself. Exactly.
All right, so Thornton and Daniel Smith both rolling. Looks like Jack Sanders, Kevin Kyle, both of them got their cars back on the track as well. And let's take a look down. And guess who's back on the lead lap? That's right, Tony Iverson.
He
finally did it.
He got the lucky. Wait, well, he hits. Oh, you can do that. I think with the lucky dog, you can do that.
It took 9 cautions, but he has done it.
He has done it. And look at this front of the field now, Mean Gene. Look at our new leader. Another switching up of the field here. With
hey, Joe Volpus has led laps. He's a veteran. You know who hadn't though is Jax Duvall. He's ready. He's ready to do something with it. So Volpus, Duvall front row, Andrew Bolander, Sean Walton. Walton been knocking on that door all day. It looks like a kindler, gentler Sean Walton out there. Haven't seen him wreck too many people. Just one.
And Owens brought it down that time, Mean Gene. Owens now in 9th place after pitting.
But he got new tires, right?
Oh, I bet so.
Green flag, green flag.
And we're going green, and it looks like Thornton is going to be forced to pit immediately. There's the jump. Volpus with a good lead. Duval and Bolander side by side behind him. Walton fourth, and Louis still running top five.
And around goes Duval and
Bolander
Bolander.
and Duval get into it, and now they're kissing. Look at that, they're kissing. They're front to front.
Kith.
You can't do that. This is PG-13.
They can kith. Oh wow, Mean Gene. Well, we saw that one. It ended romantically, but I don't think they'll be doing any of that kissing in the pits after this, will they?
No, that was crazy. Look at this restart. We're going to go back to the
Let's watch this one real
broadcast.
time.
You can see the 8 of Bolander on the outside. There's Duval. They're both worried about Sean Walton. They don't know what he's going to do. Louis knows there's going to be a wreck because it's right in front of him.
You know where we got to go, Mean Gene. You know where we got to go. We got to go to the far chase, don't we? Because that was down. They both should have been going straight.
Yeah.
So here we go.
It looks like they both wanted the middle lane.
And now it's slowed down. Duval. Going a straight line, my friend. You can't blame Netcode for that one, Mean Gene. You can't blame Netcode for that one. Don't know where the 84 thought he was going. And now
He's going to Duval.
And now they're kissing.
Look at that. They're just pointing at each other.
Yeah,
you know how he could tell? Because he was inverted.
Mm-hmm. They both think they're number one. That's really sweet.
Well,
that was a fun restart.
That was something, wasn't it?
It certainly was, Mean Gene.
Look at Tony Iverson's like, hey, guys, I already got my lap back. I didn't need that.
That's our 11th caution of the race. So I knew we'd have time for this, so I prepared some speeches. So let's talk about another one of our sponsors. And probably some, we'll tease some things here, Mean Gene. Daily Drivers Inc., a proud sponsor of the MRL. Check out dailydriversinc.com. We got tons of new clothing available right now. We just dropped a big handful of new designs, including a lot of DDI Motorsports designs, and you'll find some familiar faces on those shirt designs. So definitely check those out, guys. And I can tease you guys since you guys are here watching our broadcast, so I can let you guys the inside scoop. Daily Drivers Inc. will be launching a iRacing League in the near future, so we're very excited to let you guys in on the details of that, because I'm sure you can assume who will be covering it.
Can you give me like one little? Is that the one morsel today that we'll be covering it?
Yeah, that's the one morsel.
Okay. All right. Next time maybe we can find out what people will be driving.
Yeah. I guess I'll give them a hint now. It won't be these.
It won't be this.
These things are so hard, BG.
Yeah, and we already covered 2 of these anyway, between our sister league on Sunday and then this league on Monday.
True that.
All right, Joe Volpis still being shown as your leader. Going to bring him into the Geico restart zone. He's in the 07 blue car, side by side with Sean Walton. Great jump by Joe, so fast that he's going to bring the rookie Mazza with him. Mazza and Walton side by side. Owens, Steve Lewis, and the 28 of Mero still up front. The 54 of Medina. Bringing it in hot right in front of Matt Novella. That's your top 7. But right now, it's Joe Volpis leading Sean Walton around. This is lap 154 of 200.
Man, Joe Volpis just left the keys on the counter and checked out while Sean Walton was still asleep in bed with the housekeeper wondering what's going on. Louis got loose. That was a save by Louis. That's not. Big hit by Louis, and that probably won't be a caution, Mean Gene, but that was a enormous hit. That tire is.
There's cars on the track. Did you see that left front quarter panel on the track?
There's pieces of cars on the track. Yes, there are. But here we go, Mean Gene. Volpis, Walton, and Owens, our top 3, all side by side. You can put a blanket over these 3.
Okay, there's Owens. He is very close to Sean Walton. No love lost between these two. Walton up into the wall. That's going to let Owens get side by side. Owens on the bottom. Outside lane, though, always has had that momentum. You can see Walton using it, getting that top speed down the back stretch. Joe Volpis has to love what he's seeing. But even side by side, these two cars closing the gap. Owens, he needs to fall in line or make this pass right now if they want to keep up their tire wear. Behind them, Colin Bollinger, he's excited. Look at him coming like a rocket to make it a group of 4 in that lead. He touches Owens.
It was actually the wall just grabbing a hold of Owens there, Mean Gene. Owens just smacked the wall and exit. He's having a hard time wrapping that top and doing that diamond line. It just isn't coming down in the edges of the core. There it is right there. See right there, Mean Gene? It's wrapping the top and it's going towards the wall. It's not doing a diamond. He needs to find a way to back up the corner a
Doing
little bit more.
side
There it
by
is.
side with Walton
There it
couldn't
is.
have helped.
No, absolutely not. And man, the lack of trust between Owens and Walton was bewildering right there. Oh, Owens' entry the corner is way lower than he needed to, way lower than he would against anyone besides Walton. And look at this, side by side, too deep for the lead.
Oh, this is terrifying. These four cars. Medina and Iverson catching up right now. Joe Volpus in the lead. Looking at Walton and Owens side by side behind him again. Colin Bollinger wishes somebody would make up their mind. Now it's Walton stuck on the bottom. A little bump from Bollinger's going to get Owens past Walton. Bollinger's going to go with him. Walton falls back into fourth, single file. Top 6 cars in the race. Look at Iverson on the bottom.
Yep, I was going to say, look who's joining the party. Jose Medina and Tony Iverson joining this group. It's now a group of 6 looking for the lead here. And Bollinger, how much more patient can he be? As, oh man, Owens loose and around he goes. Owens into the wall.
Bit of blinking up in the wall.
Oh,
and he
into
collects
Marrow.
people.
And there's the caution. Into Marrow goes Owens. David Owens. Now we know he doesn't have that fast repair. I don't know if that'll be enough damage to want to call it a day. But Owens again, he has no one to blame but the driver in
Bollinger
7-Eleven.
touches Owens. Owens looked loose to me, but definitely some contact from the 53 as well.
Oh, okay. Let's see this. I am
This is great.
very willing to be wrong about this one, me and Gene. Let me find the footage here. Here we go. All right.
Austin Marrow throwing in his 2 cents on the radio as well, saying everybody's a GDI.
I mean, you could check up as well. Right, here we go, me and Gene. I'm going to keep my eye on the 11, but let's see the 53 as well. And I told you, that 53, I think he was running out of patience here. He had been the most patient in this group by far, and I think he wanted to go, and this may have felt like his moment. But look at, I think Owen's going to loose on exit here, me and Gene.
That's what Bollinger said. He said he was loose on exit. 53 comes in, and you can just see a slight touch.
I think we got to ride on board with Owens for this one.
And look at Walton thinking, no. And look at Tony Iverson says, hey, that's my teammate.
Iverson
blinks.
He
hit the teleport button.
Oh my gosh, he did. He's like, no, enough of this. I'm hitting that button. And okay,
There's
so
Kevin Kyle.
Oh, I see why Marrow's upset.
And look at the 8.
I see why Marrow's upset.
The 8 of Bollinger and the 97 of Swingle.
Yeah, that was Swingle and Marrow there. And I understand.
Oh no, Marrow again.
That was, he got driven through by Swingle, and that's why
5 lives.
Yep. So I understand Marrow's frustration there. Watch this in reverse there, me and Gene. That was not him. He was not the one not checking up. So here we go. I'm gonna ride on board with Owens here, and what I want to hear is, did he get loose and how loose before the 53 got to him? So here we go. I'm sorry, man, Gene. That car's out of control.
Well, that's what Bollinger said, and that'll be up to officials to determine later. Sounds like as far as taking credit for the wreck to avoid an EOL penalty, Colin Bollinger's not saying a thing, so officials will have to look at that. Right now, no EOL being given to Bollinger, so...
I would not take credit for that one either, man, Gene.
Exciting as we see yet another caution appear. That's the 12th caution?
Yes, sir. Nailed it. My lucky
on
number.
lap 167.
Yes.
All right, lights are off. Car is off. Bollinger side by side with Jose Medina. And away we go. Colin Bollinger with a great start. So good, in fact, he's going to bring Daniel Smith with him. Daniel Smith side by side with Jose Medina. Daniel Smith going to be on the outside looking to get that momentum. Good speed, and he's going to take over second place. Medina needs to fall into line. Iverson with good speed. There's Fritz. He had good speed all day as well. That's your top 5. Right now, though, Colin Bollinger going to lead him around ahead of Daniel Smith.
Yeah, Jose Medina's front row restarts have not been as pretty as that 54 paint scheme is. He has struggled to maintain any sort of momentum and has lost second place both times he started from there. Mean Gene needs to clean that up if he wants to have any hope of winning this race. If we do come down to something like an overtime restart, which it looks like we may, and look at Tony Iverson, that 13 just won't say die.
Yeah, right now, you were right. Looks like as far as Rex goes, Steve Lewis has got that thing in there getting repaired. Owens, Hall, and Thornton all a lap down, and there's a caution.
Caution is out, me and Gene. Oh, who was this one? Uh-oh. Was this car not ready to be on track yet?
Oh no, I see Mazda down in the going into the pits.
Ooh, so I think Owens may get collected in this
Yeah,
one.
Owens
Oh,
was a lap down.
and this had already happened. This is not David Owens. I'm sorry. It
Oh,
looks
who
like
was just blocking the track?
it was Mazza and Novella. So let's watch this one, me and Gene. Here we go. So there's Novella and the 8 of Bollinger above him. I see Mazza all the way back there, me and Gene, about 2 cars back on the inside. Novella, and there's Mero. Mero, I know, not happy with the 97. Uh-oh.
No, he wouldn't.
Don't do it to him, Austin.
He wouldn't.
So let's see. Let me try to get it. So we're keeping
the Novella looks loose.
Around goes the 56. Trying to save it. Into the wall he goes. Oh, and a separate incident. Looks like the 905 around.
Yeah, go back. What was he doing?
Yeah,
Did he just tap the brakes?
Let's take a look at that. Yeah, that may have been what we've talked about earlier. Novella doing that same thing, coincidentally. And that is what it looks like, me and Gene. Looks like the 90 or the 905 is going to see this. It could also be the dirty air created by the 56. And I think that's what it may have been there, me and Gene, because it looks so identical to the pitch of the 56. I think it was that wake of dirty air that 56 unintentionally dumped on that 905.
Really unfortunate. So that is going to give the cars with damage the opportunity to come back in. I see David Owens bringing it back in. Richard Swingle bringing it back in. So as we look at it right now, 14 cars on the lead lap. Colin Bollinger being shown as your leader. Lights are off of the pace car. We are expected to go green. Daniel Smith is second. Outside car, though, Colin Bollinger. He will have control. Top 2, Bollinger Smith. Second row, Medina. Matthew Fritz. Fritz needs to find that speed he had on that outside lane again and see if he can get by Medina as quickly as possible. Tony Iverson, Jack Sanders, Sean Walton, Austin Merrow. That's been a hard luck row right there, Merrow and Walton's row.
Yeah, it really has, me and Gene, and I'm just wondering how many of these guys have fast repairs left. I'm assuming close to none of them, and what type of damage those who don't are dealing with right now. But yeah, I'm glad you brought that 48 of Fritz, because that's who I have my eye on, besides that 53 and that 31 on this restart, because those two have shown so much speed today.
All right, here we go. Pace car is going to get out of the way. Looking at Bollinger on the outside in that 03 Dr. Pepper Jabroni Toyota, and he gets a great start. He gets an early lead. Smith trying to hold his lane. Medina and Fritz remain side by side as they come out. The speed of Fritz on the outside propels him into third. Fritz trying to keep that car on a rail does. That momentum is going to be cut off when Daniel Smith cuts in front of him. Bollinger with a great lead, 0.3 of a second out ahead of Daniel Smith. Fritz, Medina, Sanders, Iverson. That's your top 5.
Smith with one of our best inside lane front row restarts we've seen all day, doing a good job protecting his track position. Look at Tony Iverson there on the inside. More connection issues. Nothing. That's not something we've seen from the 13 in the past. Interesting there.
He's in a big pack, too.
Yes, he is. And there's that 25 losing momentum, and around he goes with Merrow.
Sanders, Vulpes hits.
That one was easy to see coming, wasn't it, me and Gene? Hey, look at the Sanders doing his best Kyle Busch impression. And that's that pace car. Stay in front of that thing. Good job by Sanders. Stay in the lead lap there. But he definitely got loose out of that corner, Mean Gene, and it cost him. So we'll try to take another look at that one. But man, we are up to our 14th caution here. And the reason...
Oh, wow. I'm hearing from the pits. Austin Merrow, after being involved with everything that's happened to him today, just reached 20x.
And you know what that means. Why don't you tell the ladies and gents at home what that means for Austin Merrow? Oh, I thought you'd have like a really... I'm assuming me and Gene listened to some radio right now, because I thought we were going to have a really cute soundbar for that. But fine, me and Gene, I'll tell them. Austin Merrow, I believe... And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he is going to be out of this race. I believe that may be the DQ penalty If
We're
it's
going to find out. They're talking.
if it's not, it's a drive-through, Mean Gene, and it's not just a drive-through. It's one that has to be served under green flag conditions, and we are running the full pit setup today, which means you have to drive
Oh,
through.
he dropped the F-bomb. He dropped the F-bomb. He just said that this is the funniest race he's ever seen. He said funny. He did it. I heard him.
Oh, this is like the funniest race I've ever seen. I mean,
Yeah, he dropped a 5-letter F-bomb. I heard it. He said funny.
I mean, Mean Gene, I was talking to my DDI teammates about this race today and sharing some data with them and kind of trying to coach them on what it's going to be like. And there was one word that me and Matt Novella were repeating to the rest of the guys on our team, and that word was attrition. And we also told them not just that, you're going to get frustrated and don't let it get the best of you because the mistakes will compound when that happens.
I'm not kidding though when he said funny. He took it well. I mean, he wasn't angry. He just said this is a funny race.
Oh wow, I thought that was just a Mean Gene.
No, he didn't say the 4-letter F-bomb. He said the 5-letter one, the funny. He's taking it well. I'm listening to him right now. I can hear his radio. And there's not a lot of anger. I think it's just a lot of resignation that this is a crazy event. You talked about your DDI guys. Guess what? Hunter Hall lucky dogged his way back onto the lead lap.
Yes, he did. Hunter Hall, I mean, you could have gone, as we saw with Iverson, multiple laps down, and this thing's not over for you. Because the cautions are in abundance. 17 to go, though, Mean Gene. They are ticking down. 14th caution of the day.
This is pretty insane. People not thinking about tires anymore. They're just like, well, there'll be 5 more wrecks and I'll be done.
And I don't want to be back there.
Here we go. Lights are off. Colin Bollinger on the outside in the 03 Jabroni car. What a jump. He goes. He brings Medina with him. Medina and Smith side by side. Matthew Fritz, odd man out, stays on the inside in 4th. Sean Walton 5th. Joe Volpus wondering if he's got front end damage. He is in 6th. But right now it's single file of the front 6 as Colin Bollinger is going to bring around and lead that lap on weight 85. And now Walton looks down below. First guy to jump out of line as he and Fritz are side by side. Got to wonder what's going to happen with that 23 on this restart and those tires not up to speed.
Yeah, Walton has to be careful now. Bottom line, it's so easy to get loose, especially on exit here. But that 23 doing a good job right now of wrapping the bottom and trying to have some exit speed and able to drive down the corner as opposed to up like we saw from him earlier. That's what he has to be careful about there, Mean Gene. He was sliding up the corner. That can't happen. But, man, I'm looking at our leader, Colin Bollinger, right now, stretching that thing out over Daniel Smith. He's got a good sizable lead right now. Probably praying that this thing somehow stays green.
Oh, yeah, or else just get a bunch of cautions, and he doesn't even need to worry about those tires anymore. Daniel Smith is now 0.4 of a second behind him. Walton gets a little sideways. That's going to let Volpus pull side by side. Bollinger. Then there's a gap. Then there's Smith and Medina. Fritz on the tail of Medina would love to get by him. Side by side, Fritz and Medina. Volpus gets by Walton. Walton now side by side with Bollinger. And here comes Matt Novella.
Yeah, we got action all over the track here. Great job by Medina there. Fritz driving in way too deep in the bottom and not able to maintain his speed right here. Fritz getting a little bit greedy, and it's costing him, Mean Gene. Look at him slide through the field.
Touches Novella, keeps it straight. It's terrifying back here.
Yeah, there is just absolutely no patience being shown here with only 9 to go, which honestly, Mean Gene, with 15-second laps, that's under 5 minutes. These guys have got to go.
David Owens has managed to make his way back on the lead lap. Got to be impressed with the work that crew has done. Right now, he's being shown in 10th place. Up front, Colin Bollinger. He's looking for his 2nd win of the season. Here in just the 5th race, this is the dominance that we saw him exhibit over on the Wednesday Night Xfinity League, and he's putting it on full display again here tonight in Bristol, Tennessee. Daniel Smith looking for his best finish of the season.
Almost in the develop, Walton behind them. Look at this, Mean Gene. If there's going to be a caution, it's going to be right here. These guys are mixing it up.
Walton going the wrong way. Novella did get by him. Duvall right behind him. Duvall was the victim of some ping pong. Owens was the victim of a ping pong. Novella was the victim of a ping pong. And Sean Walton's around these guys. Ooh, light contact between Fritz and Novella. Now Novella, Walton side by side. Walton's got to have his cautions up.
He does, and Volpus got loose in front of them on exit. Mean Gene nearly brought it around and might fall back into the grasps of this group here, which is the last thing he wants to have happen. These guys are absolutely going for it. Walton wrapping the top around Fritz, trying to get a run on the 56 Novella. Only 4 laps to go as Bollinger still with a healthy lead, just trying to keep it clean in front of Daniel Smith. Behind him, the 54 Medina, Bolander in 4th, Volpis still in 5th, and this group here, Walden and Novella, these guys racing super hard for 6th place.
There we go. Lap 198 as they're bringing around Bollinger. He's about to make it 199, and then it'll just be 2 laps to go to finish this thing. He's got a great lead. He just has to maintain momentum and speed and hope there's no caution. Heck, in half a lap, it won't even matter because the next one will bring out the checker. Here we are. He's linging around. 199. He's going to make it. This will be live. Bollinger with the lead. Behind him, Smith. And now it gets frustrating. Medina, Andrew Bolander, Joe Volpis side by side. Bollinger's going to bring it across. He's your winner. Volpis making a move on Medina. Takes 3rd.
Wow, what an insane amount of action as they cross it.
He did a pogo. He passed one, he got one, he went from 5th to 3rd.
A 2-for-1 special for Mr. Joe Volpis, who was there all day. And that race did not disappoint on that last run there, did it, Mean Gene? And also our 2nd place, Daniel Smith, getting that run that has been so overdue, has it not?
Tell you what, Daniel, he didn't. Oh. He was in 2nd at Charlotte. He logged out this time, though. He makes it to the end. Look at Joe Volpis bringing it into the pit immediately. I bet his heart's racing.
Mean Gene,
what a great play.
You oftentimes tell me that this is friendly and don't worry about it, but I don't think this one was. Look at this after the checkered flag.
No. You want to find out? Why don't you invite Why don't you invite your bonus driver to be one of the guys that might not be happy? Look at the 8 car. Look at the 23. Look at these fools. What are they doing? It's turned into a wreck fest. Here comes Tony Iverson. He just wants to wish him good luck and get out of there. Oh, Sean Walton picking up some incident points after the race. What a wild man.
Gotta love it, man, Gene. What you expect?
They got to be happy right now. So let's look at it. Bollinger's going to get the win. Daniel Smith 2nd. Joe Volpis 3rd. Great run by Medina to take 4th. Andrew Bolander 5th. Matt Novella 6th. Sean Walton holds on for 7th. Jax Duvall 8th. David Owens brings it back from laps down for 9th. And Matthew Fritz has to be disappointed. Running at the front. It's one of the fastest laps that we saw as well. But he's going to finish in the top 10. Always a good day, but I bet Fritz had higher aspiration.
Yeah, I believe he did, Mean Gene. He showed so much speed, but so did so many other cars today. It was not an easy one by any means.
Poor Steve Lewis. That guy ran at the front all day long, finally got caught up, had his single car incident, drops him down to 19th, 14 lower than his qualifying. Oh, and the rookie Mazza looked so good all day, ends up 17th. And Mero, that guy, he finally ran out of 9 lives. We're going to have to find out from MRL officials exactly what will happen with his 20X.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see, Mean Gene. Where did he ends up 14th, 2 laps down. That tells me that was a drive-through penalty, so could have been worse, I believe.
Yeah.
Find out about that.
And look at this. Look at the super team. The super team, the high side hustlers, 14th and 15th. Thornton and Iverson down at the bottom. And David Owens with the 9th. So the super team having an average day here at Bristol. I say average. I would kill to finish 15th in a field of this field here. But I meant the expectations that those guys have had for themselves.
I mean, Mean Gene, all you had to do today was finish this race, and you had yourself a top 18.
Yeah. Yeah. And remember, the way that those points do work, it's based off of a 37 car field.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get some good points just by showing, as Beer and Stinson proved with their start and park today.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's worth it to do sometimes. That's why I said it's a good move, Mean Gene. You got to love to see it sometimes.
And Smalley, right? And Mason Smalley also looks like he did the old start and park. So we only had 20 actually put in some laps.
Yeah, very interesting.
All right, so who would you like to talk to for your bonus interview?
Oh man, I really don't know for this one. Okay, so should we do Jose Medina today?
You want the angry guy? You want the ecstatic guy? There's a few.
Okay, so Medina ended up not getting the top 3. Should we do him?
That's up to you. That's your guy.
Yeah, I keep choosing DDI guys. I can't do that 2 weeks in a row. Screw it. Get me David Owens.
You want the Owens. I love it. All right, let me hunt him down. David Owens down. I see the big three are waiting down there. Did Owens? I think Owens already disconnected.
Might be following that. If you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything.
He already bailed. You're gonna have to pick somebody else.
Okay, then screw it. Give me Medina. Get me Jose Medina.
You tried.
I tried to do the right thing.
All right, I got him.
Jose Medina, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm right here, man.
Oh, Jose.
Oh no, I can hear it. I can hear it.
You're a little bit bummed about that one, Jose. Well, that's why we still got you in the booth here today, because that was still a brilliant drive by you today. So walk me through what that one was like. I mean, just like yesterday in the BRL, battling through the field all day, and still a finish that you can be very, very proud of. But take me through your day today.
Oh yeah, I could have been a lot worse, man. I could have been a lot worse. I got a little bump. I got a little bit of damage when during the caution, and not everybody's checked up in time. And what else? And then I had a over 5 minute damage also required damage. So I had to take that. So it put me back there a little bit, but like me, I never quit. I never quit, man. And I love these drivers, man. It's just sometimes when you're trying, I don't know, they were talking about me about not slowing down when there's a caution, but I'm trying to get away from the incident. So maybe it was me. I don't know. But if it was me, I apologize. But I'm not going to get involved in no incident.
There's always going to be different opinions on what to do when there's a caution, and there was plenty of opportunities today to react to cautions. What was that like today? How much of an attrition race did this feel like compared to past Bristol races in the MRL?
Oh man, the intent is so high. These drivers are like top notch, man. I mean, I'm amazed. I'm competing against them up here, So I'm only looking forward to finishing 10th. No lower than that. And man, I've been coming up lately. So, but it's intense, man. It's really intense driving. I should have stayed up high. I don't know if I would have got third, but I should have stayed up high. I made a mistake.
It happens to the best of us, and it was easier said than done today to a truck like this. That was absolute insanity and never seemed to let up. But great job nonetheless, Jose. And we're seeing week by week improvement from you, and it's been so much fun to watch. And now 2 days in a row of amazing finishes. So great job, man. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before you get out of here?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Pacifico Cerveza Clara. That's the beer, the sponsorship I have on my car, and my team is Wise Guys. So with Colin coming out in first place, and then Brandon, he's I don't know he raced today or not, but he was there, but he didn't. I don't think he started the race. Had something coming up, and also. I want to give a shout out to the broadcasters, your announcers, Mean Gene, Zach, Kevin, Kyle. You guys do a great job, man. I mean, I can't even give any more. Man, I can't stop saying how much I love you guys. You guys really get down. And then I want to give a shout out to Paul. I forgot his last name, but he designed this Marlboro car today for me, paint scheme, and I want to give him a shout out. My wife, for supporting me, even though she doesn't watch the races, but she says she supports me. And then my friend Osvaldo Rubio, that he's always checking out the races after my races. So that's about it. Thank you for everything.
Thank you so much, Jose. It's always a pleasure to have you, man, and doing a great job this year. And yeah, my fiance does the same thing, so I know how you feel. But great job, man. It was a pleasure watching it today.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And you remember, Jose, if somebody points a finger, there's 3 fingers pointing right back at them.
Oh yeah, and Pacifico.
That's exactly right. Have a good night, brother. You earned it.
Thank you, Eugene.
Yeah, man. I told you that dude at the very beginning. He was on fire yesterday, and I just seen him get better every week. He's getting confidence. People are getting used to seeing him in the track, and I think it's really just a matter of time until we see him just bust on through.
Couldn't agree more, Mean Gene. It's been a very fun process to watch him improve week after week, and now finally getting the finishes that we know he deserves. It's been a pleasure to watch.
I know. All right. Speaking of pleasure to watch, let's go ahead and pull in our third place driver. You know him, you love him. You see him on Monday, and that's Joe Volpus. Joe, are you there?
How you doing?
Man, first things first, Joe. You did the pogo. You did the pass one, get one free. Please take me through that 5th to 3rd place moment.
Yeah, so, we pitted for tires there. I gotta go take a gander what lap that was about. I think it was about 30 to go in the race, maybe 35, something like that. When I think I was maybe leading or in second, and I came down pit road because I felt like a good time to put on the last set. I think the 23 and some other cars were coming with better tires. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come take the last set, and there were just too many cautions there right after I took them to like really get through. And then I had a tough time getting around the 54. I thought I had it set up, and then I got loose out of 4, and then I lost a spot. So that was pretty disappointing. But then, ironically enough, I needed that high side to like make the pass work, and I guess Medina was more worried about Bolander, so he went low to block him, and he left the top wide open for me, which is just about all I needed to make that. If that happened like 10 laps earlier, I think it would have been a completely different finish for me. But we'll never know.
No, what we do know is that move ended up putting you up into 3rd place, and right now I'm leaning early on that being my money move of the race, because Joe Volpus, that puts you right up on top of that podium. Really seen things start to click together for you here recently. Those accidents, you were involved in one. I was a little worried about your front end there. What was the most amount of damage you had at any point going into the pits to need to repair?
So I didn't have any damage at any point in the race, believe it or not.
No,
so there was that whatever happened there at the start of the race. I don't know what that was. Like, we had that caution right where they wrecked on the backswitch. I saw it in my mirror, and we come back around, and I guess one of the wrecked cars hit the leader. I don't know who it was. I don't know what really happened, but
Mero got whacked.
I checked up, and everybody behind me, like, I guess they were just like shell shocked, and I ended up getting in like an accordion. So I thought I had a little bit of damage there. So I came down to fuel up, and there was no optional damage. I never used the fast repair, so maybe there was unfixable damage that I don't know about. But yeah. Even at the end of the race there, so I know it looked like the 99/25 was alongside the 28, and I guess they just like neck coated together or something going into one, and it left me nowhere to go. So I slammed on the brakes, and it just like sent me right into the back of the 28. I had Novella and Duval look at my front end, and there was apparently no damage. And looking back at the replay, the car looks fine.
Wow, that was the one I was talking about, because I thought your front end did get into it. Also, that first caution, lap 15, that was when the 88 of Louis and the 905 rookie Mazda, they got together. And then Louis, when he started to go again, he picked up the 28, just driving on by. Louis was hungry, and he got him a medium rare T-bone right there as Mero tried to drive by. So, Joe, great race tonight. Exciting, as always. Anybody you want to give a shout-out to before you go?
Yeah, I want to give a shout-out to you guys for keeping the broadcast going. I know it's pretty tough sometimes. I know Zach is the producer. I don't know how much he really talks during the races, but I know he's been having a rough time, just getting everything going. So I just really appreciate the persistence that you guys have had dealing with whatever issues. I know we really dreaded broadcasting Bristol tonight, and it looks like I can't wait to go back and watch it. That's pretty much where I'm at. I think this would be a pretty good race to go back and watch. I know it was pretty chaotic, but you know what? That's Bristol.
You're going to love the camera angles. We had a beautiful drone shot of Louis at the very beginning, and you could just see all the different packages. So you're in for a pleasure, in for a really good time. As we were watching you tonight, that's Joe Volpus. He's the driver of the 07 car. Podium finish tonight. Great night, Joe. Go relax. You have earned it.
Thanks, guys. I think I got to go get my race control hat on for a little bit, though.
Well, good luck. I hope you can count to 20.
Have fun with that, buddy. Man, and I'm sure Joe will be very happy to know that producing, do not worry, not keeping me from talking way too much. But
got him. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull in your number 2 guy.
yes, Daniel Smith, we got you, bud.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm happy to be finally talking to you, dude. You have had so many good runs this season, and whether it be one thing or the other, not having a finish like this to be able to talk to us at the end of the race. But what do you know? Bristol, of all places, is where you're able to do it, and you showed strength all day today. So take me through your race today, and especially coming down at the end there.
Yeah, for the most part, I mean, this whole season hasn't really gone my way. I've had a lot of bad luck or issues. So I knew eventually it was going to turn around. When it comes to this race, I mean, the car felt fine. I just couldn't get the rotation that I wanted to be as good as I know I could be here. So I was fighting with that the whole time, just trying to adjust and readjust to find something that works for me to allow me to get around smoothly. Wish I would have put up a better fight with Celtics at the end, or Colin, but yeah, my best shot was getting a good jump on the restart, and I blew it one of the times. I thought I ended up jumping, but we left perfect, but I double thought it and kind of backed off a little bit, and I feel like that was my only shot. But yeah, I mean, good finish. We'll see how it goes. Just hopefully this good luck continues.
Yeah, it's about damn time you get a little bit of it, right, Daniel? But yeah,
Exactly.
it was a lot of fun to watch it today, and I gotta know, man, how many laps did you put on that first set of tires, and how'd you do that?
I want to say it was probably about, it was like 70, 80, something like that.
Ugh.
I mean, the thing with Bristol, for the most part, you're fine. Just as long as you're smooth with it and not really push it too hard and just kind of, ride the line that you're looking for. It's usually good. Just cautions help, obviously. But yeah, I was definitely dying for tires.
Yeah, I did not envy you towards the end of that run. I was like, I don't know how he's doing it, but it's been fun to watch. Great job today, dude. I'm like I said, I'm happy we finally got to talk to you. It's been very overdue, and I'm excited to see more of that from you. And you're definitely going to be, I think, in position to make the playoffs sooner rather than later if you aren't already. So, first chance to get any sponsors or shout-outs you want to shout out right now before we kick you out of here?
Yeah, Pennzoil, they're good to me. I appreciate them for jumping on board. Coors Light, Bass Pro Shop, Shell, and the whole Team Delusional group. My boys, Celtics, which is Collins, Sean, Andrew, UK. All my boys that invited me to this league, and obviously the league itself for putting on this league to allow us to come have fun.
Hell yeah, Daniel. And yeah, I'm not sure if you tried it, Mean Gene, but yeah, just a couple tablespoons of Pennzoil in your Coors Light. Ooh, that'll get you there. Tastes great.
That's the stuff, right?
Oh
Yeah, it'll get you buzzed for sure.
Tell you what, hey, Daniel, you actually jumped up 5 spots, and you are 6 points behind Sean Walton for that 12th spot into the playoffs.
Yeah, just a couple more good runs, and we should be fine. But all in all, it's been fun. Just got to put them together.
yes, sir. And I think we will be seeing that, Mean Gene. I would not be surprised to see more of that out of Daniel Smith. But without further ado,
Oh yeah, that guy has been just tearing it up. I mean, what he did at Charlotte, what he's done the last few weeks, and what he's doing over in the Xfinity Series also, just laying down some burners, putting his name out there. But speaking of, he used to be tearing up the Xfinity, and now he's tearing up the Monday Night Mayhem. It's tonight's winner, Colin Bollinger. Colin, you there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Win number 2. How's it feel?
It's feeling really good. I mean, I felt like tonight we had a good chance of coming in for a win, and we ended up pulling it out. So, yeah, great night.
Yeah, so a little bit of controversy out there tonight. Lots of accidents, a lot of net code incidents, and a lot of cars getting loose. There was a little bit of a conversation between you and David Owens. I heard your perspective. I heard his perspective. Are you guys going to have a little talk to smooth out the feathers later?
Well, maybe before the race on Wednesday, but it's nothing more. Like, we were so close, and he got a little loose, and he wanted me to check up. But at the end of the day, when we're that close, no amount of checking up is going to stop me from kind of getting into him there. So I apologize to him, but he didn't really want to take it, and I get it. We were up at the front at the time, so yeah, we'll talk about it on Wednesday probably. So.
Yeah, David Owens, he got second place last year. Late caution shenanigans caught him, costing him the race to Michael Mata. And then this year, lots of cautions there at the end. Did those just play into your hands? How much tire did you have left? And were you happy for the cautions? Or you were pulling away before all of that? Did you think you had the car?
I thought so. I mean, on that last run with about 50 to go, or whatever caution there was, 45, 50 to go, that was my last set of tires. So I mean, but we started I think seventh, and I wasn't planning on saving them. So I think we got up to the front there. Then the caution came out with 20 or so to go, and then from there I was just making sure I could run as fast as possible because the tires didn't wear off that bad. So I was just trying to just have the fastest laps there at the end, and ended up getting about a second and a half lead there on the white flag. So yeah, just made the right call and got lucky with the tires. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, the more you race, it seems like the luckier you get, because we're just getting more accustomed to seeing that 53 up into the front. And those restarts, I think also something that we didn't talk about a ton. You just seem to have the secret on those restarts. Were you looking at the other cars on the restart to make sure you played them and got that jump, or do you have a spot that you like?
I mean, there's no spot that I like the most, but you can't keep the same thing. I mean, guys are gonna catch on sooner or later, so you always gotta keep it mixed up for them. You know, gotta give them something, gotta keep them paying attention. You know, so they kind of just weren't, and we just kept taking advantage of it. So until they figure it out, we're gonna keep doing it.
Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of catching them, you're going to jump up 4 positions in the regular season points and take over. You now have a 1-point lead over Kevin Kyle. Of course, you're guaranteed a playoff spot, but a regular season championship would also be nice to have. So grats on taking over that lead, and hopefully the mayhem of Daytona won't destroy you. I got to ask you this, Colin, though. This is the most important question I got of the night. Boy, who did the wrap on your car? That Dr. Pepper Jabroni card looks sweet tonight.
Yeah, you just interviewed him for second place just a couple minutes ago. No, that's all Daniel. That's all Daniel Smith. You know, I was gonna shout him out here if you guys were gonna let me, but you know, he did all my paint schemes for the upcoming seasons, and you know, Team Delusional. That's the team I run with, not just in this league, but every league that we all race in. And yeah, no, he's done all the paints, and he's put in a lot of hard work and just to make us look good. So you know, I think me, his car tonight, and Andrew Bolanders, he made all of them. So yeah, big shout out to him.
It was a sweet looking ride. Anybody else you want to give a shout out to before we head out?
No, I shot just playing again, or Daniel Smith and you know, Bolander, Sean Walton, and just the usual guys that we race with over here. I mean, and you guys for broadcasting, and you know, it was just a good night. So.
Yes, it was. And your boy Sean, he ended up getting up 2 spots, and he finds himself up into 12th in the playoffs. So minus somebody coming up and stealing a spot, right now he is in that 12-man field of playoffs. And I wouldn't doubt if he finds his way into victory lane before the end of the year, the way that he can drive that car. Colin Bolanger, he is your winner tonight as he pilots his way. Second win. First he won at Charlotte. Now he's won at Bristol. Can't wait to see what you do next week at Daytona. Thank you so much, Colin. You have a good night, man. You earned it.
Yep, you too, guys. Thank you.
Congrats, man.
Man, that dude was just fast. We saw him. If you go back and look at that broadcast, I knew when he was piloting his way through that field, he made use of that outside lane. Daniel faded a little bit. And then once he got clear, that was the end of it. And that series of cautions just really played into his hands. You heard Vulpes say he had tires. He pitted on 35 to go. So he had 15 lap fresher tires, but Colin, between those restarts and his ability to save what he did, just really looked good tonight.
Yeah, the races that we've seen Bollinger win, that does seem to be how it plays out, Mean Gene. He always seems to come there at the end, and he always has an abundance of long run speed. And Bollinger just never someone you can count out, especially at the short tracks. That's a pattern I'm starting to see with that 53 car. Really always a weapon at the short tracks, a really fast car. And like you said, Mean Gene, look at that with our points there on screen. Bollinger now our points leader. Kevin Kyle, his consistency got in the way, having him still in second place. Volpus with another great run, another podium. Third now, Owens fourth, and Bolander in fifth place.
Yeah, Andrew Bolander, he's got the most top fives right now, so he's Mr. Consistency without the victory. But I expect soon that we're going to see him make his way up, and who knows, next week that thing is wide open. And what I'm really hoping for next week is that we can see MC Motorsports come out and really make a strong run. That's going to be of course Mata, Case of Beer, and Jay Stinson. Those guys known for being ringers almost on the super speedway. Really hope that we can see that team come back next year or next race, just next week, and see something happen at the craziness of Daytona.
Yeah, Case of Beer, a teammate of mine on Thursday nights in the MRL Truck Series, which we'll be bringing to you guys in the near future. There's another teaser. But Case of Beer, we were at Atlanta Newly Super Speedway last week, Mean Gene, and Case of Beer was our leader. That dude is in his early 20s, and we were being coached by him all race, and he led a ton of laps, and he lost that race to David Owens by, I think it was 0.008 seconds, and he absolutely worked. Yep, that happens all too often at Super Speedways, and I expect nothing different next week, but Case of Beer, he had to work through the field so many times. I led the most laps, but it was by the virtue of strategy. Case of Beer could do so much more than I was able to. I was not able to. Once I was, in 12th, Mean Gene, I was in 12th. My best one was probably maybe a top 5, but Case of Beer went from 15th to 1st more times than I could count. That dude is, like you said, and it's a real thing. It is. He is he is a super speedway plate track ringer. So I'm going to put a lot of pressure on him to make sure he shows up next week, and I'm sure he will, because he circles those ones on his calendar. Looking further at our standings, Mean Gene, I'm going to shout out a few names that are sticking out to me. Well, we'll just keep going down. Fritz, no surprise there. Fritz, Mr. Consistency, doing a good job. To touch on Bolander real quick, too, not only does he have the most top 5s, Mean Gene, all of his top 10s are top 5s. That's interesting right there. Bolander doing a great job there. Moving on, though, we have Thornton in 7th. We saw him today. We'll see if there's any points penalties or anything comes from what happened with him today. And then 8th, Tony Iverson, not having the same season we saw from him at this point last year. We'll see if he's able to get that win that's been eluding him, and at least those finishes. Tony Iverson only one top 5 so far this year. Duvall and Medina tied for 9th place, and then our playoff positions will be rounded out by Novella and Rashawn Wakefield. Who is that? That's not that, because I've never seen that name ever.
Oh, you know who that is. That's Sean Walton. That's our boy. That's my guy.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So funny.
Yeah.
But there is, like you said, Daniel Smith right there, one spot out now.
And if you look behind him, Jack Sanders as well. I think those are the 14 guys that we kind of need to dial in as far as the 12 positions. Now, don't get me wrong. If other people get enough races to qualify, then that win and in situation could pay off. Last week's winner, he's not going to have enough starts, so that's not going to count. But some of these other guys that have plenty of starts, if they could win, they could find their way right into that final round. Those kinds of guys being a Michael Mata, a Brandon Guerin, a Joe Amato, Kevin Brower, Austin Merrow. Merrow was at the front all day and just continued to be a ping pong ball. That's who I would have interviewed. I'd have loved to see him come on and talk about how things were funny on an interview. But so there's plenty of guys that could still get that dub and put their way into the playoffs. But what they got to do, Zach, they got to show up. That minimum is going to be higher this year than it was last year. Last year, it was 7 races and you get in. And I'm pretty sure it's 9 or 10 this year. I got to look in the rule book. But boys got to start showing up for races right now, or they're just doing the Sunday fun day.
Yep, it's not going to be a win you're in situation if you can't show up to enough races, Mean Gene. That's a good shout, and we're going to have to keep our eye on that as we are I believe, past our midway point now, where we will be next week in this regular season, and it's winning time for a lot of these guys. They really got to get it done, and they at least got to do that damage control. Me and Gene, if the race isn't going your way, you got to think about the finish and not so much the win right now, and make sure you can go points racing and get yourself into this postseason.
Yeah, those 14 guys right there, they got to start to do it. And I think we saw a lot. Walton did have that incident where he did get into the back and cause that little spin. But, Denny Hamlin would say that's short track racing, and we didn't see any smashes. We didn't see any Joey Logano passes of just driving a guy into the wall. So I don't think we saw anything too terrible. So guys are already making advancements in their driving style. So those top 14 guys, especially when you see the assault that Daniel Smith has put on recently, and Jack Sanders being, the Colonel won this championship just 2 years ago, and he's part of 2X Racing. That team bringing in Kevin Kyle, they're full of strategy. They were the first at the track, and I already heard him talking about tires and fuel. So Jack Sanders is surrounding himself with a bunch of winners. So going to be interesting to see how those bottom 3 or 4 guys battle as they try to take over that last few playoff positions. So any final thoughts from you tonight, Zach, walking away from this thing?
Yeah, the team strategy is going to be in abundance next week, me and Gene. It's going to be a fun one, and if there were any leftover hurt feelings from this race today, which I'm sure there's plenty, I think they're going to boil over next week at Daytona. That's where we're going, right?
Yes, sir.
Might as well. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to get the real NASCAR season started. I'm hoping that we'll be streaming on one of our channels soon, me and Gene, so we can all watch some NASCAR races together and enjoy our company. But I am enjoying your company again for another great season of MRL. This was another great race. It was a sloppy one. Can't be not. There are two ways about. There's no two ways about that. But that's not always the worst thing, me and Gene. It was definitely not low on the entertainment value. That was a fun one with plenty of drama, plenty of talking points for next week. And it's what you expect at the last great Coliseum at Bristol Motor Speedway is nothing less than just absolute chaos. So that was a fun one, and Colin Bollinger gets it done again. This guy is going to be a force to be reckoned with as we make it through our halfway point of the season. So having a great time. I want to thank everyone for joining us. We are... It's not lost on us watching our views go up, and it means the world to us having more of you joining us week in, week out. And we are going to continue to try to improve these broadcasts. I'm proud of today, me and Gene. We were at a short track with tons of cars together, and we kept it together in terms of our software with no crashes and brought you guys some new camera angles in the meantime. So I'm very proud of that one, and I had a great time covering that one with you. So thank you all.
Hey, I tell you what, I love that drone stuff. That was really cool. So yeah, these cameras just continue to get better and better, as does the racing. Right now, walking out of this, 19 guys have showed up for every race. So that is some really good consistency. There's a whole lot of people after that with 4 and 3 starts. So, kudos out to the league of doing this. They were at that Coliseum, Gladiators down there. And if you saw Gladiator 2, then you ought to know by now, when the Rhino comes charging, you got to get out of the way. And right now, that Rhino is the 53 of Colin Bollinger. He is saying, I would like to add a Monday Night Mayhem championship to my resume here in MRL. Colin Bollinger, your winner this week. Next week, we will be at Daytona, and all stops will be out, as these guys are going to do what it takes to try to punch their way into the playoffs or continue to rise up into the 12 drivers through points that will make their way in. On behalf of myself, Zach Panzarella, our sponsor, Chantilly Lace. Boy, I couldn't read. I should have put on my glasses. John Beverly, Joe Volpis, DDI, KK Woodscape, and all the fellas that are part of the Production Truck Boys. I want to thank you. Have a great night live from Bristol, and as always, bottoms up and hammer down.